In last episode, I bought a pit bike for 50 bucks, and you guys saw me trying to fix it. That kinda worked, we got it to fire up, but it idled really high, so in this video, we're going to try to fix that.
The weather has been horrible. It has been raining all day, so we're in the shed. So, last episode we got it running, which is awesome. Now it didn't run quite that well. Whenever we started it, the RPMs would shoot up and just stay at like a 4000 RPM range, which I think is because there's a vacuum leak somewhere, which means somewhere in here is a leak, maybe right here, or where the carb and the manifold connect right here. Sorry, it won't autofocus. So like right in between here or right in between here might be a leak, which is sucking in air, which fucks up the mixture of fuel and air, which causes it to not run that well. That's what I'm guessing is happening. So I'm just firstly going to tighten those a little bit more to see if that might solve it. Hopefully it does. And otherwise I'm going to put the stock sprocket back on there because this is a bigger one, and maybe that's just allowing too much air to flow through it, or it doesn't seat properly on the cylinder head or something, because yeah, it's not made specifically for this engine. And the old sprocket, the old manifold was. But let's just first try and tighten everything down. I think I found the problem. The threads on this bolt are completely effed up, which caused the nut to not want to go on there, and it would just keep spinning without getting any tighter. So this might have left a small gap. I don't know if you can really see it on camera, but these threads are fucked. And this nut isn't too great either. So we're gonna put some new hardware in it and see if that fixes the problem. So, as you could see, that didn't do much. Still the same problem. Now, somebody suggested that the throttle cable isn't installed correctly, but I don't think that's the case, because when we revved it up and we let go of the throttle, it would idle fine for a few seconds and then slowly climb back up. I think there's either a leak somewhere, or the carb that we put on there is just too big for this bike, because it is a bigger carb than that was originally on it, but it's the only one I have laying around. So I'm just going to try to decrease the diameter of the manifold. I have a big manifold on there, so I'm going to put the stock one back on there. This has a smaller diameter, and let's just see if that fixes anything. Alright, now we can actually see what we're doing. Okay, so I got most of the fairings off. There's one still on here, but this bolt right here is just spinning like crazy. It won't come out, but now we got this to work with. So electronic wise, this is literally it. It's a few wires running to the CDI box. This is a CDI. Now I don't know what this is. This is a plug that's just not plugged in, although it looks like it's the same plug as this. So is that like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. If anybody knows why that is, let me know. I don't know. Now somebody said the brand of this pit bike is SSR. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't really know much about this other than the engine is a 125cc. Apparently by Zhongcheng is what somebody said. I thought it was going to be like a Lyphon engine, but that wasn't it, apparently. But now we have some space to get to the carbs and to get to everything. Can kind of clean everything off a little bit. Going to try to get that one fairing still off. So let's see if we can get it off. Okay, so I couldn't get that one piece of plastic off because that one ball was being a bitch. But however, I was able to get it out of the way, so I now have clean access to the carb. So let's take it off and put the stock manifold back on. Okay, so I took the carb off. Just going to double check everything real quick and put it on with the different manifold. I put it inside of a jar, so if anything leaks, it leaks into there. So let's just first take this manifold off. Sadly, the bigger new manifold and the old smaller one don't line up. It doesn't line up with the carb, which means I cannot mount this. But as you can see, there's quite a difference. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the new one back together. We're gonna do another test. I'm gonna put everything back on there, start it again, and do a deodorant test. So we're basically gonna spray the carb with deodorant to see if there's any leaks. If the bike revs up even higher, that means the deodorant is getting sucked in and there's a leak. But first, let's get this back together, get it back on the bike, and we'll try the deodorant test out tomorrow because I have to go somewhere.
So after my friend revs the pit bike, I start spraying the deodorant, and as you guys can hear, it revs even higher, which means there's definitely a leak. Now we didn't get that fixed that day, but we did get the rear brake fixed, so now we have at least one brake, which is something, I guess.
Ik ook. Ja, stop, gast.
Okay, so I'm just gonna try and take this carburetor apart, see if I can fix it. So I'll see you guys when this is opened up. So I took the carb apart, as you can see. I'm sorry, it's already dark outside, but yeah, I took it apart. It's really dirty, so I'm going to get some carb cleaner tomorrow. But all the jets are unclogged, which is good. The only problem, of course, is the choke. It's right now, because it's laying on its side, it's open, But wait, like this, yeah. But right here, if you can see that, right here is the little valve that opens and closes when you move the lever. Now it's good because I'm kind of holding it sideways, but when I hold it vertical, that little valve, I guess you could say, falls off because there's a little tab that broke off from the inside of the handle. I'm sorry, my camera is having a hard time focusing, but yeah, a little tab broke off from the lever on the inside where the valve like plugs into, I guess, which means the valve is permanently closed. I am going to try to fix it. If I can't, I'm going to try and just permanently open up the valve so it's always choked off, and then it just starts a little bit harder when it's cold, but it should be okay.
So I took the old carb apart because I'm going to try and fix it. Now it turns out the choke isn't actually broken, it just needed a good clean and tightening a few nuts and bolts of the little choke lever, and that fixed it. So the old carb is fixed. Gaat hier overop komen.
Naar boven is altijd aan. Ja.
Now this is where my camera died. We did some work off camera, and when trying to put the car back on, the top ring, which you use to hold the throttle cable and spring in place, just decided to shatter in a million pieces. Just literally crumbling in our hands. So we decided to just tape the carb shut to see if it would idle normally. And I also got some new clear fuel hose and a fuel filter. And after reinstalling the carb, we rolled the pit bike outside and we started, and it actually idles pretty well, so I guess this is a win. Now we cannot really take it on a test ride because the carb top ring just broke, so there's no throttle cable in there, and the painter's tape is not gonna hold it very well. So I guess this is it for this week. I personally think we made some awesome progress. We got the rear brake fixed and the bike now idles normal, so I'm just going to order one of those rings. So let's see if we can take it on a test ride next video. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please leave a like. If you want to follow this build, please subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.
Hey mannen, het is hier met een Emilio. Pak het hier vandaag over, snapte?
Ja, pak gaat die vandaag.
Ah, je weet. Hier zijn kleine kinderen aan het werk. Maro, a.k.a. 3 4 boos. Allemaal aan het werken voor mij. Snap je? Die zijn mijn motto aan het maken. Hier van achter zit je ook een motto van mij. En hier is ook mijn motto. Dat zijn mijn bitches. Ze zijn goed bezig. Als dat klaar is, krijg je allemaal iets aan mij. Schoon cadeau. Ik ben hier nu in het middle of nowhere. Ze noemen dat ook wel eens Haasdonk. Het wilde westen van het westen. Oké. Alright, we gaan nu eens de motto starten. Ik ga jullie laten volgen. Jo.
Tweede tuin, hè.
Oké.
Oh, dat gaat luid zijn, hè.
Alright, mensen. Zijn jullie klaar?
Wat gaat filmen?
Ja.
Wat op autofocus staat op manueel, anders bent je de hele tijd gewoon.
Dat staat manueel.
Ezel.
Anders ben ik
Maar
altijd
voor
klaar.
hem, hè.
Hou de focus, wacht.
Zit u echt met
De focus, dan.
Oké. Oké, Maro, even.
oor, jongen.
Wat gaat jij ervan vinden?
Wacht even, wacht. Dat gaan we nu zien, gast.
Oké, Maro gaat hij nu zien. Nummer 99, Maro Leper. Zuster van Valentino Rossi.
Zuster.
Oké.
Hoe laat zou dat zijn?
Oké, ik ga voor u doen. Oké, ze noemen dit ook wel eens een klein vlietertje.
Ja, ik kan niet zo bij.
Ook dat maar, ik ben trots op je. Hé, wat vond jij ervan?
Mooi, man.
Wat vond jij ervan? Hé, wat vond jij ervan?
Ik heb oorpijn, man.
Zo klinkt het dus ook als ik naar de wc ga.
Ga dat er alsjeblieft in, man.
Oh yeah.
Een ezel.
9000 pk.
Geduust.
Supreme. Nieuwe Balenciagas.
Waar hebben we?
Yo, stop.